15th place. Andrew Berger, Paul Simpson-Payne, Gary Champion, Victor Bartlett and Brandon Chaburko in 20th place. Corey Smith, Ramon Evans, PJ O'Leary, Dan Harrington, Mike Schultz, TJ Buck, Daniel Solo, Justin Devine, John Ludke, Tommy Hall, Andrew Schumer, and moments time, 75 laps tonight. Of course, our break will be on lap 40 as usual. Get ready to see how this thing will go down for us this game. Mark Jorgensen Jr. only 1,000th behind them on 50.03. Wofford there on that front row. Through the trial we come, and we're getting ready to see this one. Not sure where he was going, but he'll settle back down now as he tried to go back to the bottom, found the gap had closed. 46 Orega Jr. getting there in the way a little bit. Flag now has to commit to the high line, along with Passini and Henry and Wofford. Potent cars though, they should have a chance if they can get some momentum going. Their momentum seems to be something they're struggling with for the time being. Trying to stay as stable as they can here. Use that draft, take advantage of positioning. Right now the second, leading the way still, unchallenged for the time being. At Cisco, things, well, they were staying calm, but as soon as you return, they put on a show.
Yeah, we had to fix some of the issues behind the scenes, had to swap computers completely, so that's why it took us a little bit to get here. But good evening, everyone, and not really a whole lot I can do as far as the motion graphics side, because that's on the other computer. So until that decides to have a nice day, we're going to be on this one. So for right now, it looks like the 87 of Ray Rittenauer the second continuing to lead here at Talladega. And like you said, Rachel, up on the top side, Rodney Wofford up there trying to make things happen.
Certainly is, of course, and, well, making things happen is what he's trying to do, but it's not been successful so far, Cisco. That car being up top, really in a tricky spot, trying to find people to go with him. Outside lines really not have the power. This single file drive we're seeing, well, it seems to be giving this race a different tone early on.
Yeah, it does, Rachel, and allowing for some of these drivers on the bottom side to kind of just take it easy and ride a little bit, get their bearings first. You got the guys up on the top side, you know, your Rodney Woffords, your Chris Passinis, and your half of Spencer Preet, now full Spencer Preet up there now trying to make it happen. And those three cars head down the back stretch now and already starting to spread out. You see Cozy get a little bit out of line there, but he's able to stay in line. And now Tiller going to jump to the top side. So now 4 cars up there trying to make the pass. And they just aren't able to gain a whole lot of ground right now, Rachel. And you can see Spencer Preet jumps back to the inside, so he's not going to stay up there for long. Mark Jorgensen now tries to make a move on the leader, Ray Rittenauer. Nothing there, though. Looks to the bottom side and then looks to the top side. But right now, the 88, not much he can do for the moment.
No, the 88's stuck in a bit of a box right now. He's not got any help on the outside to use to get forwards and get to the front. But Harry Tiller leading now ahead of Rodney Wofford. I wonder if Tiller can provide the locomotive power that outside line needs to get moving here, Cisco. But things fanning a bit there on the backstretch. Everyone taking it a little bit easy. Approaching that halfway point, of course, in his first run. Well, we'll see whether or not they can make it to a green flag run. This could be exciting to see if they do, of course. Making it about 21, so we are going to be just about making it one stop in his first stage, if it stays green.
If it stays green. That's the key there, Rachel, if. Because these guys right now looking fairly good. A little bit of damage actually on the number 1. It looks like he had some heavy contact somewhere. And also seeing it on the 24 of that's Berger. But I don't know, it could be just odd because both those cars suddenly have a ton of damage. But I think that's just me goofing up right now. Is Jorgensen going to jump to the top side now? The Nationwide Chevrolet, the Gray Ghost, try and make the pass here on Ray Rittenauer. They head towards turn number 3.
He is, and it's the first time we've seen the outside really making a momentum here, and he does it just there. Great goes to the 88 car. That Nationwide Chevrolet gets to the front, gets to the low side there, most importantly. fantastic spot now to lead for quite some time, but Tiller, the momentum on the outside hasn't really been quelled just yet. Still very potent here, the outside power, although waning just a tiny bit. Tiller might have enough room to get down. He does. 69 to the lead. Now 4 cars now in the outside lane, as 24 of Andrew Berger commits to this group. Sun Energy 12 of Corey Henry getting himself forwards to Piscini and Wofford. Wofford and Piscini teammates, of course, doing their best to get up there and push towards the sharp end. The momentum's helped them. This has really brought the fight level with the front. Another car's moving, but side draft more important than ever, making sure they stay up on the right lane to get this one done. For now, though, looks like the momentum's starting to wane. Not quite got the power they needed now. Dropping back here. A little bit further in your field. Again, still only really that top 16 grouping. Ramon Evans caught them, of course, and that's 16 cars now in that lead group. They are that train behind them. It's Bartlett, Levine, and Harrington, a threesome. Unable to keep up with the top group, or unwilling to keep up with the top group, of course. Top group is normally where we see the wrecks start and happen. So perhaps a safer option there, as single file line behind your leaders snakes somewhat, but they're all seeming to be going to the high side, so majority of your cars here in this top 16 up on the high side, only 6 cars down low. So that's 10 cars up on the top side, giving a big shove. But they're not close enough together. Lead group kind of fragmented there. It's Piscini and Wofford back to 12, who's getting a shove from 24. Maybe this will group them up for the backstretch. Flag drops down again into turn 1. Lap 12 here. Time ticking by so quickly today, as these guys just... Wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. This is flying past. Normally we would have had 3 wrecks by now. Almost positive. Yeah, 12 laps. That's enough time for 3 cautions, just.
I mean, to be fair, Rachel, we had the B cars out here last week, and we saw what happened there. So I think it's safe to say that these guys probably going to be a little less crazy than they were in those cars, because they were paying the price for sure. So no, I think this is going to be a case where these guys are going to have to take it easy, and they're kind of almost have to, the way the draft model is in these cars. You can't quite push in the like you could in the B cars. So you can see Harry Tiller right now, though, right back to where he wants to be. He mentioned 1 week ago, Rachel, that he wants to win a points race. He's tired of winning all these exhibition, all-star stages, everything else but a points-paying race. And I don't blame him, because he's been at the front of this field for so long. You got to think that eventually he's going to want to break through the mold and get that first points-paying victory.
Absolutely is, of course. Harry Tiller desperate for that position, but is today going to be the day? Wofford alongside him here, coming out of 4. Piscini and, of course, the 12 of Henry pushing there. Wofford's going to be clear. Will he drop down? He's going to try. He's not quite clear. He's just clear by a grill tape's width. He manages to get that car in there. Tiller now no longer leading, but staying with his lead group for once, and keep our eyes on the 51 here, of course. Brendan Kyle Bush's number, which seems also appropriate for the 51 this week, as the 88 is deciding to go up top. Now we have a big, strong run on the top side. This could be Freight Train Town. He really is the one up at top, the 01, sorry, up top there. That's Travis Brown. He dropped to the back very early on from qualifying 11th place. And look at this, freight train of 4 cars getting past the 3. 51's could come with them as well, as the top line really pulling hard here. 2 of them going to be able to drop down, leaving the 24 and the 51. A little bit less power up top now as they drop down to secure that lead. Probably going to stay down there. No necessary loyalties between those in the cars that are still stuck up high. See that top line kind of collapse down again here, of course. Cisco has not really got the power, but the 51 shoving 24 hard. Been a long time since the 51's been in this series, of course. has it been since we've had our changes to how well these cars can push and hook bumpers? That's the question.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Rachel. But the good news is it looks like the old internet's decided to wake up on the other computer, so we will be transferring back over to that and coming back at full 1080 here in a little bit. We'll wait and maybe see if we can get a lull in the action. But right now, the 24 continuing to be pushed by the 51 up on the top side. And looking back through your field, it's a little crazy around Rod Flagland. The 23 is kind of in a three-car pack back there. Jason Altman's rather, and Spencer Preet back there, and trying to either get up to Altman's or get up to Chaburko rather, or drop in on the inside. Not really sure what their strategy is, but right now just don't seem like they're all together where they want to be on the track right now, Rachel.
I don't think anybody is at the moment. We're still pretty early on here, of course, Cisco. They don't particularly want to get too excited too soon. Cozy Jr. jumps up to join that top group and they're charged towards the front. But as you mentioned, this is one of those times where these guys are really wanting to make sure they have this opportunity. But Chaburko's dropped down. 24's left up high. 77 is probably going to look for a gap if you could find one. I can see this top line collapsing very quickly, which it is. You're all going to find a gap and drop down. Single file for your top 16 here. First car to move up on the outside now will be back towards... Who is that? That is looking for the 97 of Altman's. Was trying it, but he's dropped down again. This leaves Rod Flag up on the top side with Preet. Otherwise, top 16 are going to be single file, which leaves things quite calm. But they know in about 3 or 4 laps, we've got pit stops coming up, Cisco.
Yeah, absolutely, but we're going to take a moment to step aside here on LSRTV, get ourselves back on the mainstream computer, and as they battle for the lead, you're watching the Superspeedway Cup Series right here on your home for sim racing, LSRTV, and iRacing Live.
Pit stops.
Back live here on Talladega, and it's big problems going into the pit stalls. There was Chris Piscini running into big trouble on pit entry, and they all wadded him up as we come back to the live picture. And big problems for Brandon Chaburko, Chris Piscini, the 42 of Victor Bartlett, and more.
You know what? I think Piscini might have made it if he hadn't got a tap from 51 there, who then got a tap from the 3. Everyone else sliding around trying to find a gap here as everyone else slows it down, but 51 hits the wall hard on the inside lane there. Everyone else makes it to pit road for quite a messy pit road action, more than we've seen before, as everyone starts to get off pit road now and back up to speed. There'll be Wofford leading them off along with the 87. 97 of Altman's. Wow, he's worked his way up towards the front really quickly. The 1, the 42, 12 and the 37 are give your first pit road group, and this will probably give them a significant advantage here. Pitted just a little bit early, and it seems that everyone's a tiny bit rusty. The second group down pit road now. Berger, Tiller, Reagan Jr., Cozy, Reagan, we have written out second, and Flag. Everyone getting a good pit stop there as they're going to come up on the jacks and get this one done, but, well, that's been unusual for this cycle as the second group will come off pit road now, and the first green flag run has been nice and clean. This breaks up this pack now, of course, Cisco. Chances of a caution in the second half after a green flag stop does dramatically drop once we've had a green flag pit stop. Yeah,
it does, Rachel, and it's going to allow these guys, hopefully, once that competition or the halfway break comes along, it should allow these guys at that point. It's going to be a little bit easier on strategy-wise because you're only going to have about 35 laps to go from that. But as you take a look, Rodney Wofford up on the top side, the 3, you got the 97 with him, the 1 of Piscini, the 42 of Bartlett, and the 37 of Preet, all up there on the top side, running past as we head back to turn 3 once again. Hello, Jason Altman's almost got into the 46, but was able to stay out of it there. And they come off turn 4 once again, and it's Wofford back to the lead. Certainly is, and one needs to make sure he keeps this one a little safer for now, because
That one could have been a little bit more chaotic than they wanted. This one's shaken back around, of course, to our running order we are currently experiencing. Rodney Wofford, Altmans, Passini, Bartlett, Preet, Berger, and Reagan Jr. Those guys gained massively from that cycle, but the group at the front's really kind of stayed together here. Very close run thing, as these guys all largely together. Chaburko lost out big style. He's on his own in 20th place. No one really around him, but he has got, by the looks of things, the 21 of Hedrick just up ahead of him, so they'll have a drafting pair to go with. Should have some cars behind them to hook up with. They're going to catch up to them pretty quickly. So these guys probably want a caution here, Cisco. It's been one of the more unusual starts to a race. It's certainly quieter.
Yeah, it's been very quiet, and we have, unfortunately, because of that, we haven't had a whole lot of caution time to try and fix things, but we're working as best as we can right now, and Wofford continuing to lead right now. And you mentioned Jason Altmans, what a good job he had done getting through the field, and remember, he was in that group with Rod and a couple others towards the rear. Spreet was also a part of that, and you look, the 23's back there. He's not with this main group, but the 37 is also with them. So this is basically that pack of 3 cars or so that were able to just kind of stay out of trouble. And with all the issues coming down pit road, a lot of cars had to use their reset. Altmans, Flag, and Preet weren't really a part of that, Rachel. So they kind of got the lucky side of the situation there.
Yeah, they certainly did, of course. And staying lucky has been an advantage for these guys, and one they probably want to keep hold of course, as you don't want to make sure you get into too much trouble, but they're doing a great job of things as they stand. And, yeah, you know, normally we hate cautions. We know you guys do, but it's kind of weird that for once we kind of wanted one or two, and we've not had them.
Yeah, and we're starting to close in. I think that might have been a little bit. I'm trying to get it back. In the meantime, though, still staying live and single file through most of your field. And the 45 of Richard Reagan Jr., if you're noticing a very different paint scheme on that car, it's because they've brought on a new sponsor, Amsoil. And Amsoil, of course, one of the sponsors for, I believe, Adam Benefield out kind of towards the top end of the Cup side. And now coming on board with Richard Reagan Jr. Reagan Jr. actually going to be giving away a hat here during the race to one of the drivers, I believe the driver that wins today. So a lot of new sponsors coming on board, obviously, in the last season or so between Sunwest Construction with, of course, Robbie Lyons, and now Amsoil with Richard Reagan Jr. Pretty cool to see right now in the Superspeedway Cup Series, all that happening.
It really is great to see lots and lots of sponsors coming on board and giving these guys a lot of recognition they deserve. The series has got some real competition going in it, and it's very nice to see that sort of level. So, good on these guys to be in that place, as we are now coming in on lap 27 as we cross this line. And, well, broken up is definitely the word I'd use right now. Tiller, of drivers of note for the race so far, he's back in 8th place, but he's only got really 3 or 4 cars with him. They've really kind of fractured up back there, as problems, it seems, with the 87. Rittenhouse second just dropped back massively there. Is up to power, but I'm not sure what's happening to him here. He just lost that draft of all of his own volition, really, and that's cost him a huge amount of time.
Yeah, it has. That's going to be a huge issue for Rittenauer. Not really much he can do at the moment. It's kind of falling off the pack here, and looking back, the first car back to him is going to be Ramon Evans, and he's miles away right now, about 4.5 back. 4.5 seconds to Rittenauer. So unfortunately, with him losing the draft, that's going to all but kind of screw him before we hit the halfway break. I'm wondering, maybe it's a strategy by the 87 to try and save a little bit of fuel here or something like that, because we got the halfway break coming in 12 laps, the end of stage number 1, and right now it looks like, at least through your top 8 or so with the guys here, so your top 7 anyway, they're probably not going to do a whole lot here, Rachel. So maybe it's a strategy, or maybe it's just a case where wrong timing for Rittenauer and kind of falls back.
Yeah, it could well be that, and not a great situation for him there to, of course, be out-timed by this thing. But, of course, we do get to rack and reset this field on lap 40, so in about 12 laps' time, we should see this field make it there without having to stop again, which means this is likely to stay green unless someone has a small incident, of course, on track. Let's hope they don't, because you know what? To be basically 34 minutes into this race and nearly approaching the halfway point, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, they're doing a good job so far, Rachel, and with time. I think we're going to try it again here. So you're watching the Superspeedway Cup Series right here on LSRTV. Let's try it again and see if we can get the old router to work with us here. So we'll be right back here on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Welcome back to the Superspeedway Cup Series, and well, I think we're finally back here, Cisco. We managed to find the right settings here to...
we had to drop the settings down a little bit, unfortunately, but that's... I think we're officially throwing this router out tomorrow morning, so we'll get that fixed here for later on. But finally glad to be back with you here on the main computer here. You can tell because my voice actually somewhat matches up and has compression on it, which is always good. But 9 laps to go here before the stage break. Rachel 8 to go at the line. And as we sit right now, Rodney Wofford continuing to lead this single file pack of cars, and everybody right now just chilling out, waiting for that halfway break.
Yeah, they certainly are, and chilling out is not the worst thing they could be doing in this series. It's nice to see them racing strategically here to fuel numbers and making sure this thing stays as a race of ability, not a race of survival. Lead breakdown: Wofford, Aldman, Spassini, Bartlett, Preet, Reagan Jr., and Andrew Berger there. Oh, pretty chill group of 7 cars up there at the front, and I'm not really seeing much action from them. Really single file here, just staying in order. Although I suspect once we get close to that stage point, we'll see these guys battle amongst themselves. Do you think that's going to be wonders then?
Yeah, I would assume so. But, I mean, the biggest thing for these guys right now, Rachel, is, you know, nothing freak to happen here before we get to the stage break. It's been basically the calm after the storm that we saw in pit road entry, but after that it's been pretty smooth sailing for most of the field. So pretty happy with, I think a lot of these guys are happy that this race in particular has been a little bit less crazy than what we saw 1 week ago. However, if you do want a little bit of crazy, I see some cars weaving around back here. This group is 76's Scott Warren and Harry Tiller, which is interesting considering what happened last week. It's funny to see those two back together. And then you got the 12 of Corey Henry and the 23 of Rod Flagg. So Warren a lap down. The rest of those cars make up the rest of your top 10 right now, kind of the support pack to your main 7. And then you go back, Ramon Evans, Gary Champion, and the 77 of Cozy Jr. And then we find Ray Rittenauer, who unfortunately was not able to fall back and hang out with Evans, Champion, and Cozy. So unfortunately for him, he's kind of in no man's land. John Ludke makes up your 3rd kind of auxiliary pack here. He's got the 10 of Corey Smith, the 4 of Justin Levine. The 01 of Travis Brown's in there, but of course a lap down car. Then you got Josh Hanner in the 2. And the 20 car of Paul Simpson Payne also out there. And you see the 40 Danielle Solo also out there, a newer entry to the series, because Ron opening it up to everybody who's in the league is able to race tonight. So that's why we have everybody out here, some of the faces that we haven't seen in a while. And just like that, 5 laps to go at the line before we reach the end of the first stage.
You know, if I had a name like Solo, I'd be running a car painted like the Millennium Falcon all the time, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's just because you're on your Star Wars kick. Don't worry, I'm off mine
Absolutely.
now, but you'll leave eventually. Eventually.
Never happens. Either way, moving swiftly on as we keep our eyes on the field rather than on the heretical comments of my co-commentator. The field so far is, as we mentioned, a bit broken down. 50 of Ludke leading a group here. From 15th backwards is him, it's Corey Smith, written out a 2nd, Levine, Hannah, And then you've got Chaburko in the next group there with Jorgensen, so he's picked up a fast car to go with. They're going to have to rely on some strategy here at the break point here. Now, what would you do, Cisco, in this sort of position? You're back here at something like 20th. Do you go into the pits in 2 or 3 laps? And then say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to pit during our competition caution.
It depends on how far back the leader is, ultimately. You see Jorgensen, Chaburko, the 38 of Andrew Schmier, the 82 of Dan Harrington, 21 Glenn Hedrick, and I believe that's the 16 of Mike Schultz. They're only about half a track away from the leaders here, so you know what? Honestly, unless you know that the leaders are going to come down pit road, Rachel, I'm not going to risk it that far back. If I was a full lap, or if I was in this lead pack or something like that and could do a deal with the leaders, then maybe. But if you fall a lap down going into that stage break, Rachel, you're done. You're basically done. So, I mean, no, not really. Not if I'm that pack in the back, because you've lost too much time already.
Interesting assessment there, of course. That could definitely change how this race would unfold, and I kind of like that thinking. But, hey, let's see what these drivers do. The second group has caught your lead pack here with a couple of laps left to go until the stage end. You've now got Warren, Tiller, Henry, and Flag joining that lead group, and, well, this makes our 7 and 11. And let's see just whether or not these guys can use that momentum of gaining that lead group to pull up alongside and really make this interesting.
Yeah, it will, but I'm almost thinking these guys probably just going to tag on to the back of the pack here, Rachel, and they're not looking very interested in racing a whole lot, right? Well, I say that, and the first person to jump to the top side is, oh, right here, Harry Tiller, who's going to go up there, and Berger's going to go up there, and Preet's going to go up there. So I thought they were going to wait until a lap from now to maybe start dicing it up, but it looks like some guys at least trying to make or think about making moves, and fortunately for Tiller, I just don't think he has any help up there on the top side, or enough help to get up to him, but Victor Bartlett will have enough time as they'll come to the white flag here for the end of the first stage, and Bartlett up on the top side, and I really like what that 42's doing, considering he was 4th in line. He's got to get moving now. Rachel can't wait till the last lap before the end of the stage. He's up there right now. Really the only person who can get past and use that top side at this point who won't benefit Victor Bartlett will be that 97 of Jason Altman's, but white flag in the air for the end of the first stage.
It will be indeed white flag, and we have a second line here led by Junkins. No, that's Bartlett, sorry, not Junkins. Bartlett, Preet, and Berger leading the outside charge. Have they got momentum here to get into the front? Make this one happen. There's an overlap with 97. He can't take advantage and pull up to fight with 3. If he did, he might have a chance, but well, this looks like it's pretty solid for 3. There's no real momentum for the outside line here. Going to come round 3 and 4 here for final time before the end of this stage, as
Altman's
see whether there's a chance. Yeah, Altman's was looking to try something. No, Passini will try it instead. Now, I believe we have to the end of lap 40, don't we, Cisco? So there's another lap.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like Jason Altman's in a big can of I can't go anywhere right now, but that doesn't matter for Chris Passini. We have to wait for the top 15 to cross the line as well here. So actually, yeah, this will be the end of this particular lap when the stage is going to come out. New ticker, it's goofing me all up, but down the back straightaway, Passini's got about half a car length right now on the 3 of Rodney Wofford. They charge into turn number 3 this time. Is Passini going to be able to clear him? He doesn't really need to clear him, Rachel, as long as he has the run and keeps the nose in front. That's all it's going to matter, but around turns 3 and 4 now, and it's going to be a drag race. One car going to try and get to the line in front of the other. Is it going to be Wofford or Passini? Or are they going to take it 3 wide? Survey says they head through the tri-oval. Rodney Wofford, thank you very much. Bottom side, faster right there. Now we wait for the top 15 to cross the line and the stage caution to come out.
We certainly do, of course. The 3 kept momentum there. Big shot by the 97 of Altman's is what gave him that stage win there. As I'm sure it's going to stay that way unless before the caution flies, Passini might end up ahead here. Is it who crossed the line, or is it who's leading at the caution? Because we've crossed the top 15 and it's not come out yet. Yes. Unless we're going to 45 for some reason.
You can see the cars, a lot of the cars have actually backed off, so you'd think that we're just waiting on the stage caution at this point. You can see Piscini kind of surrendering second place right now to Wofford. Good for that caution flag.
They've all basically backed down here. All of them.
Well, I think the problem is, Rachel, is if they kept racing for much longer, they were going to run out of gas. So this could be kind of an impromptu pace session here.
Someone could just pass these guys and have this, because there's no caution yet.
I don't think that would be. I don't think that would be in good sport to do that.
No, I'm not sure what's happening here.
Maybe
no. I think I know what's happened. Rod has left the same setup on the session from the All-Star with cautions off.
Which is no cautions.
Yep, so this is a self-imposed caution here, because no wonder we had no cautions in the first part. I think we had 1 or 2 wrecks. We just didn't notice, because there were several cars down, 30 laps, 2 laps, 3 laps. Yeah, Rod's left the cautions turned off.
Well, GG, Rod. A very quick race,
GG.
Then, Rachel.
Yes, it is. No caution here, so these guys have to set their own caution for this stage end. So Wofford with the stage win. And before we go down pit road, of course, it is time for our Midway race break. As we cross the halfway point in tonight, let's take a look at the iRacing Midway race break, brought to you, of course, by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation, developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service. iRacing organizes, hosts, officiates, and races on virtual tracks all around the world. And in the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing. With officially sanctioned racing, of course, from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, Global Rallycross, and more. Let's take a look at that rundown. Rodney Wofford, Chris Piscini, Jason Altmans, Victor Bartlett, Reagan Jr., Spencer Preet, Harry Tiller, Andrew Berger, Corey Henry, Rod Flagg in P10, Ramon Evans, Gary Champion, Michael Goza Jr., John Lutke, Corey Smith, Justin Levine, Josh Hanna, Ruben L. second, Brandon Shaberko, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. in 20th. Dan Harrington, Glenn Hedrick, TJ Buck, Andrew Schimmer, Scott Warren, Paul Simpson Payne, Travis Brown, Mike Schultz, Daniel Solo, Marshall Newton, PG O'Leary, and Tommy Hall, who is retired at this point. Of course, that's been a look at your iRacing at Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. Thanks to our friends at Red Bull Global Rallycross, you can now visit iRacing.com/membership and use the code PR-GRC for an opportunity to start your career on iRacing with 3 months for only $5. That's promo code PR-GRC for new members only. Whilst they sort this one out, I think I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll rejoin you for their quasi-restart, because they'll have to make it up as they go along.
We're getting a little bit CEA here. How about that?
Yeah,
I like manual cautions, but with that, like you said, we are going to step aside and be right back here on LSRTV. You're watching round number 11 of the Superspeedway Cup Series, the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup Series, right here on your home for sim racing, LSRTV.
I actually, really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have, great cars and engines and things at KKR, so it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing, 3 wide action on a turn 2. Craig Kinzer, Casey Kane, and Kieran Pittman going at it.
I think the differences between, NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the car. With iRacing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's, enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And, early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend, it's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
Welcome back here to Talladega as LSRTV continues to bring you round number 11 of the Superspeedway Cup Series at Talladega. Cisco Scaramuza, Rachel Whiteford, and I think I can finally stop pulling my hair out, Rachel, because not only have we put Andrew Schmier and Dan Harrington back onto the ticker using the powers of magic, but I believe we've sorted out what the major issues are and should be good to the end here. So that makes me happy, so we can focus on some of this racing action here. And if you're noticing, just imagine the pace car in front of the 46. Just use your imagination. There's a Ford Mustang, it's white, blue, and red, and it's just rolling right there. Just pretend you see it.
You know what? After that description, I almost can picture it. Of course, there's this has definitely jigged things up a bit. These guys having to be a little bit patient here and work this one out themselves, but of course we're going to have 30 laps to go this time as we cross the line and restart. Well, yeah, that's been interesting that they've had to basically play this one out themselves. Honesty required a bit for this caution. We're going to get this thing wound back up here on 45. Unless you're watching, just tuning into this and thinking, wow, this is the slowest race I've ever seen at Talladega, are they on slow motion? Because it looks like a slow-mo replay right now as they're coming through 3 and 4 to the tri-oval.
That's why we have, luckily, I can actually tell the flag state what kind of flag it is. So we're in a faux yellow here, but the pace car is in. It's a little bit like CEA Wednesday nights here, but nonetheless, pace car is virtually in, and the field's going to be in the hands of Richard Reagan Jr. They come to the start-finish line. Green flag back in the air. Ready for stage number 2 here from Talladega.
It is, and a huge start there by the 3 and the 1 on the outside. They got a big jump. In fact, that goes from the 18 of champion, quite a bump for the Reagan Jr. They might actually clear him here on the back straight to get through, but that may not happen looking at how they're closing up now. I've got to say, watching them come through the corner, all 2 by 2, that looked like watching a slow-mo replay of actual NASCAR when they're that tightly packed at doing 200 miles an hour. But as the field now approaches 200 in the pack, into 3 and 4, topside's advantage fades away for the moment as Reagan and Champion clear them. Altman's looking like he might clear the 3 as well.
Yeah, Altman's looking like it's going to be the 3rd car past the 3, and it's all exploding right now for Rodney Walker, who was our stage 1 winner, and just can't seem to get a whole lot of help. He does have the teammate behind him, Chris Cassini, but it's just not going to matter a whole lot. 3 losing a lot of time, but he's actually starting to hang a little bit tough up there, and I think Champion and Reagan got a little bit disconnected, as did Altman's, and that's keeping Wofford in this dogfight here, Rachel. Open the top side, obviously Cassini giving a lot of credit and a lot of help to that number 3 of Rodney Wofford. Then you got Harry Tiller back there and Spencer Preed, and hey, look at that, Mark Jorgensen, he's back. He's up on the 5th car on that top side. The Gray Ghost, after issues coming to the first pit stop of the night, it looks like that car's gotten all the pieces back together, and he's back up here in the top 10.
Yeah, they certainly are. Great to see them back up there, of course. It was quite a disaster they nearly had, of course, but managing to keep this one in one piece for the time being. Cars having a bit of a move around at the moment, but they're doing an okay job. One or 2 cars have had some issues early on, but everyone generally holding this thing together here, as now Reagan's Jr. is going to be trying to swap lanes here, trying to make sure he holds his lead. Wofford on the outside, Passini, Bartlett to Preet, so, well, and I should say Jorgensen Jr. a daunting lane to have competing with you, as now there's going to be an overlap with the 3 coming up. 18 comes up to side draft, bit of a check there as, cars spread out there on the start, I should say. 3 car once again with a bit of an advantage, but it's been nullified a little bit by that move by the 18. Reagan tries to look for a spot, and not going to happen just yet. If we have an incident here, they've got to do this manually, because these cars are moving all over the place and they're very close together here.
Or we're just not going to have a caution. So, I mean, if these guys all wreck, it may be a case here, Rachel, where it doesn't matter and you just got to stay in the throttle, which could be catastrophic for some of these drivers kind of towards the rear if something does break out. But into turn 3 once again, and Champion on the bottom side continuing to push Richard Reagan Jr. through the corner, and the top side starting to evaporate, Rachel. You see Wofford, Cassini Machine, and 42 of Bartlett. That's about it. So all of Rodney Wofford's help that he had up on the top side, yep, it's gone.
It certainly has gone, as that top side is breaking apart here. The 3, the 1, and the 42 is all they've got left. Everyone else has dropped low. I think they all saw the writing on the wall of a potential incident coming, and they've done their best to try and avoid it.
Yeah, they have, and it's going to get a little close there between Gary Champion and Rodney Wofford. Able to hold on to it are those guys, but it got a little bit too close for comfort there. Everybody keeps it intact, though. 50 of 75, 2/3 of the way through this race. And weaving around once again is Gary Champion. That 18 car not looking particularly happy right now in the draft, Rachel. That Camry weaving about a bunch, but he's holding his line right now. But got to keep the eye out, because we know what happens if you kind of hit somebody and your car is weaving all about. We've seen it enough here in this series to know you're going to have to watch out for it. The one thing I don't like that the 18's doing, Rachel, though, is going under that yellow line. Yes, I know he's saving the car doing that, but at the same time, you're just asking to hook someone at that point.
And just as we say that, I think that just happened actually a little bit further back. I'll have to check really quickly just to make sure we find out whether they did or not. And I don't think they did. Okay, imaginary clunk sound coming from our...
We're all paranoid now because we don't have flag states to be able to tell us when this is happening. So we're all paranoid.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, I thought I heard a clunk of cars mashing. This is how you make Legends cars, of course, when 2 Cup cars decide to mate on the racetrack. But up front, Passini leading outside Bartlett. Jorgensen Jr. up there too. Tiller and Berger flagged as well. Only 4 left on the bottom side as everyone floods to the top side. 3, Wofford, Reagan, Champion, and Altman's the only cars left down there. As it's going to be, well, 5v4 now. The bottom line joins us up. Altman's comes up to join them. 3 versus a train. This could be it, Cisco.
Yeah, this could be it. And you see Altman's trying to make things, trying to get back up to that pack in front of him. And he'll have to drop down to the inside. Only 2 cars left on that top side. The Jorgensen machine and the Bartlett machine. So everybody down there. And meanwhile, Wofford kind of forced his way, and Cassini both forced their way down in front of Richard Reagan Jr. And that's kind of separated Champion and Reagan even more so than what they had been before. And I think the issue that was holding up the bottom line right now, Rachel, or was the 18 of Gary Champion. That's gone now. The new leader, Chris Passini, is taking control of the bottom line, and I don't know if you're going to be able to stop him unless you have a lot of help here.
No, right now it's looking pretty unstoppable to be down there, but Bartlett getting very close to Berger. They only have moments on the racetrack, but that was kind of close for a moment. Bartlett now leading the outside line with Jorgensen and Berger. Chaburko's back in the 51 car. He's slowly catching up. He's dropping down in front of Preet for the moment, but you can guarantee if car goes to the top side, he'll be one of those vehicles, because he likes to take his risks and try and get that advantage to get to the front here, get some points in the back, of course. There's some more fun than any other reason, but pushing red flag here, gonna get him up to 18 of Champion.
Battle on the top side still going on, and hello, Richard Reagan Jr. got a little bit sketched there, but he's able to hold on to it. Now his 4 cars up to the top side, flag, and the 24 of Berger thought about it anyway, but flagging to jump back down in front of the 51 of Chaburko, and Berger and the 37 of Spencer Priedup trying to make it happen, but nope, unfortunately not able to do so. So 24 kind of left hanging out to dry right now. As they come through turn number 4, your leader continues to be Chris Piscini. Now Bartlett going to jump off the top side train, and it's going to get a little bit close there with Champion, and Champion's going to get loose. Hold on to it, the Monster Energy Camry got loose, and he has to back way out of the throttle, will not come back up in traffic, and all of a sudden, Gary Champion, he's not winning this thing here, Rachel. His night, for all intents and purposes, probably done. He's not going to have the ability to have the pack slow down and be able to get back in your lead draft. That's job done, game over, Gary Champion.
Well, you know what? Cautions may be turned off, but this has been one of the cleanest races we've had. As Chaburko got sideways there. Holds on to it nicely, but I was going to say, this is one of the cleanest races we've had. Only one driver, 1 lap down, 2 laps down, and 152. Tommy Hall, well, he got 2 or 3 laps and lost, obviously left himself, but we've had no cautions really. There's not been this major separation you'd expect to see if we'd had cautions or we'd had wrecks with no cautions. This race has been pretty darn consistent. The whole field is basically over about 2-3 seconds right now. Big pack of cars. This thing is just working out. I'm actually pretty impressed. These guys are holding on and doing a very good job of this. And like I said, we've only had one simulated caution, of course, the end of stage, but otherwise, this has actually been a caution-free race, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it kind of has to be, but I see what you're saying.
No, by the nature of how they were racing.
Yeah, exactly. By the nature, they've been able to stay off each other, and I think part of the reason of that, Rachel, is the fact that because we have no cautions, even if you're somewhat a part of a wreck, you're going to lose so much momentum that you're basically done. So I think for these guys, it's been a case where, you know, it's not necessarily tearing up the race car, because I mean they do have the backup car, but it's a case of you tear up the race car, you're basically out of it. So I think that kind of scared everybody a little bit, kind of calm here at Talladega, and it's been a relatively calm race, you know, all considering we had some side-by-side earlier. But so we see Chaburko, Flag, 37 of Preet, the 24 of Berger, all starting to catch back up to this lead pack here. And then behind them, you got Jason Altmans and the 50 of Ludke, the 12 of Corey Henry back there, Ramon Evans, Michael Cozy Jr., and that's kind of the end of your lead lap here. Is everybody going to scatter? It's pit stops time. They're all going to head for pit road, and they're going to run out of space. The 42 of Bartlett caught it a little bit close to the inside wall. Massive damage on the Napa Chevrolet.
Oh, and Ludke noses the wall there after he came shooting into pit road. Looks like the 18 may have parked this one for the time being, but everyone else seems to make it in there in what was a massive cluster of cars tapping each other left, right, and centre. That was a dramatic pit entrance from everybody, as I think Reagan Jr. missed his box. He's had to back up. Everybody else leaving pit road in the same huge group they started in. As wow, that was quite the pack entering pit road.
Yeah, and we took a second look at it there on the LSRTV replay. Saw everybody just make it back down pit road. But it definitely got a little bit sketchy there. Second group of cars coming down pit road. It's going to be the 83 of Ramon Evans. Going to be the 77 of Michael Cozy Jr. TJ Buck going to continue to be on track here. Going to be one of the few cars left on track. But everybody else coming back down pit road. The second pack here, the Cozys and his whole squad of drivers all coming down pit road now, Rachel, and going to get fresh fuel and tires from their crews. And as we wait to see who's going to come off and who's going to get the advantage here, TJ Buck remains one of only 2 cars left out there right now, pacing around, waiting for them to take pit stops. Daniel Solo, the other driver here, but Cozy Jr. out already with Harry Tiller, and only those 2 cars, Rachel. That's not going to be enough speed here to be able to deal with the cars that came out of pit road last time by. They're away from the rest of the field here, and you can see the breakup there, and all of a sudden 188, 51, and 3. That's who's left in this ball game here.
Yeah, that's definitely changed this one up quite a bit in terms of how this will go, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that will play out here, Cisco. That group of cars, really the powerful ones, as we'll see how it plays. But yeah, this is shaking things around a bit. Lap 60 this time across the line, so we'll have 15 to go, and wow, this has changed.
Yeah, it has, and Piscini has gone back out to the front of your field here. and Mark Jorgensen Jr. out there as well. Your two cars continuing to stay out are going to be Daniel Solo and TJ Buck, both on kind of opposite ends of the racetrack here, or not opposite, but kind of away from each other for now. TJ Buck comes out of turn number 4, and he will continue to stay out. So kind of not really sure what the plan is for the 84. Maybe just trying to stay out and hope something happens to the leaders here. But we see these 4 cars right now, and then you got the second pack of Andrew Berger, Ron Flagg, Jason Altmans, 42 of Bartlett, 77 of Cozy Jr., and the 69 of Harry Tiller. Hello, Jason Altmans. Going to cut his way in line, and that's going to force Bartlett all around there, and got a little bit sketched there. But this pack has 6 cars in it. If they work together, Rachel, they're going to catch the leaders.
They certainly are, and they certainly can, and I'd love to see how this one does play out, of course, as this group of cars trying to get their way up there, and Berger, Flagg, Altmans, Bartlett, Cozy, Tiller. They've got the speed on their side here and more cars. They should catch this force, and we'll get a real fight in our hands for these last 15.
Yeah, we will, and Ron Flagg moving around a little bit, trying to get around that lap car of Gary Champion. And as they fold back through, you can see them start to catch. They definitely have been catching your top 4 leaders, Rachel, so they have more than enough time to get back up there.
Absolutely, Cisco, and, well, the momentum has dropped a little bit, but they've all gotten past Champion, so 6 cars versus 4. They should, in theory, slowly catch that pack. It's a matter of time, and they have got the time. Of course, all this time on the racetrack. You know what, Cisco? It kind of comes down to split seconds, and, well, coverage of Superspeedway Cup Series, of course, brought to you in part by Joel Wheel Timing. They are the official timing software of LSRTV. It's what we use. Whether you spend your time on the track behind the wheel, on the pit box, or from the spotter stand, or in our case, the commentary booth, JRT is the go-to software for iRacing, timing, and scoring analytics. Get yourself a basic download, look at the pro version today at joel-reel-timing.com. joel-reel-timing.com. You know what? It even shows you how long the pit stops are and time spent in pit road. It is fantastic. Get a copy today. It's great.
Absolutely, and of course our other main sponsor for this series is Sunwest Construction. They've been a part of this series since the beginning of the season. Sunwest Construction, of course, title sponsor here, founded in 1986 and has grown into the premier construction development company on the west coast of Florida. Over the past 30 years, they have built and developed over 17,000 condominium units, and now specialize in mid-high rise developments as well as commercial buildings and hotels alongside Marriott and Hampton Inn. Check them out. We tag them on Facebook all the time at Sunwest Construction. Running out of time here, Rachel. Going to be 11 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line. Chris Piscini in command, but the pack that was trying to catch them has caught them, more or less. It's about 2 car lengths or so, but you can see Andrew Berger, 24, getting ready to mix things up here, and he's got 2 cars with him. 23 to Rod Flagg, the 97 to Jason Altmans, and also Victor Bartlett, and the 77 to Cozy Jr. up there as well.
Certainly are, and look who's joining the back of that pack. It's Harry Tiller coming on strong here with Corey Henry with the 21 of Hedrick and of course 37 of Preet. They're catching this lead group too, so this could make for a very exciting fight when we get about 10, 12 cars back in this group together. Bartlett and Cozy have now caught up to the back of Altman, so let's make that lead group an 8 pack. Great to see the action will build up here on track, as right now, with it being so single file, Piscini is riding in a hot seat. No one really to contest this, as Jorgensen pushing so hard here. But look who's in 3rd place, Brandon Chaburko.
Yep, and he's done an excellent job in his return to the series here, Rachel. But you can see Wofford right now peeking up on the outside, and Burko probably going to go out and try and win this thing, but I wouldn't put it past some of the rest of these drivers here to try and get past Chubbs before the end of this thing. So just have to see who's going to make the move first here. It's going to be 9 laps to go at the start-finish line. Time ticking down here for these guys. And Rachel, remember, if you make a mistake here, that's going to be all she wrote. So you cannot afford to do that at all. These drivers going to have to take it nice and drive smart here with just 9 laps to go.
Yes, certainly is, and 9 laps to go is not a lot of time, but these guys are going to make sure they try and work this thing out and get it going, but they got to be patient, and patience is a key value in how this thing plays out. Timing is right. Do it too early, you drop yourself. Do it too late, nothing's going to happen. So it's all a matter of getting the thing right, getting it in order, and making sure they just are careful. With no cautions, being careful is almost vital here. You can't afford to make a mistake. Chaburko, 3 of Wofford, Berger, Rod Flag, Victor Bartlett, Jason Altmans, Corey Henry, Harry Tiller is in 10th place, and we've got a real bunch of cars there just behind them. Spencer Preet and Josh Hanna bringing up the back of this group with Michael Cozy Jr. So 13 car lead group there at the moment, and well, they are staying consistent, but the outside's starting to work. Bartlett and Berger, along with Harry Tiller and Preet, trying to go forwards, but just not quite having the power. They're sitting back about, I'd say, 7 cars back from your leader on the outside lane, trying to get some momentum going. Need a bit more consistent cars to go with them, but they're trying their best. Couple of laps left to go, and we're probably not going to get a picture back at this point, folks. We do apologize with that, but as it stands, Chris Bassini leads the way on the low side here at Talladega, coming through turns 3 and 4, and into the tri-oval we come. Only a handful of laps remaining. The field spread out behind them, single file apart from those 3 cars up top. 42 of Bartlett, a 69 of Tiller, 37 of Preet. Berger hops up to join him on the top side. Altmans wobbles and comes up the track a little bit, but he holds it down. Those 3 cars starting to get some headway now and trying to move forwards here as they're doing their very, very best. Just not quite got the speed they need, but oh, here comes a challenge from 2nd place and 3rd place. The 88 and the 51 jump up and drop Bassini. 88 just slides down on his own in front of him, but he hops back up again to pull Chaburko with him as he tries this one. He pulls Chaburko up there, but he drops back down again. Is Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to control this race now from the front? We'll be on to lap 74. This time across the line, we're coming through the tri-oval now. Up towards the finish line, across the start-finish line, and it's Jorgensen commanding your field.
Yeah, doing an excellent job right now is Jorgensen, but up to the top side, Chaburko's trying to make the move. Might have timed it out perfectly for the 51. He's going to have help from Andrew Berger up there, but the question is, will they be able to get past Jorgensen Jr., who is definitely looking to grab himself another victory here at Talladega. Time running out, though. White flag going to be in the air next time.
Yeah, it is indeed, and well, he's going to be whooping here in the booth if he does take a win. And you know what, I'm almost looking forward to that as these guys pushing hard now. It's a 2-car lead on the inside lane for the 88 and the 1. 3 in 3rd place on the inside. Was level with the 51, but he's dropped back now. The outside dropped back to about level with 4th on the inside. Bassini onto the last lap now, lap 75 here. And it's still 3 cars, single file on the low side for your lead. The 88, the 1, the 3. Rod Flag in 4th place.
Oh, there goes Bartlett.
Incident behind them. Bartlett has an incident along with Spencer Preet behind them, leaving only your top 5, 8, 9 cars here in his top group here for you at the moment as it stays single file for the top 3. Is anyone going to try and make a challenge? Will Bassini and Wofford jump out here and take advantage? Jorgensen has to expect it. He's going to hold himself into a defensive position out of the turn 4. Through the tri-oval we come. And it stays stable. Up he comes, up comes the 1, trying to make a move. The 88 blocks him, and across the line they'll come. Jorgensen Jr. wins it. Defending there to the last moment. Chris Bassini in 2nd place, and Rodney Wofford in 3rd. That's a pretty fun end there, Cisco.
That got very close there, and Chaburko kind of fell out of that whole group towards the end of it, but an excellent job by Jorgensen, able to block the lines there and do an excellent job holding on to that spot. And we'll take a second look at that as we on the LSRTV replay here as we come back to take a look at it. And it was an excellent job by done by Jorgensen here. Just was able to block the lanes the way he needed to, Rachel. And coming back here, we're going to take one last look at that final lap. And you see the 88, he stayed out front and basically just held on to that bottom line like it owed him money or something like that, because coming out of turn number 2, you see the number 1 car kind of look to the outside, and Jorgensen follows him up. He continues to follow him up the racetrack, doesn't allow Piscini to get any sort of run up there. And meanwhile, that basically stalled out Chaburko. Chaburko wasn't able to do anything up there, and basically came down to a battle between 4 cars because Rob Flagg was able to get a little bit racier with Wofford. You see Wofford go up the racetrack a little bit and try and get the run on Piscini. And Flagg gets into the battle here with help from Altmans, but just gets his nose chopped off. But battle to the line, it was all Mark Jorgensen.
Oh, we have a broadcast back. I'm almost impressed. It's the last seconds we have it back for you to see. Well, we're going to run through your finishing order, Mrs. Spin.
Yeah, we are. So we look back through everything. Mark Jorgensen going to run through absolutely all the rest of the rubber on his tires, but he's going to get the victory here from Talladega.
He certainly is, and it is Mark Jorgensen Jr., Chris Piscini in second, Rodney Wofford in third, Rod Flagg and Jason Altmans, your top 5.
And 6th going to be Harry Tiller, 7th to Brandon Chaburko, 8th going to go to Corey Henry, 9th to Andrew Berger. Rounding out your top 10 going to be Michael Cozy Jr., then Victor Bartlett, Josh Hanner, Scott Warren, Justin Levine, and Glenn Hedrick, your top 15.
Certainly is. Top 16 will start with Ramon Evans, Richard Rager Jr., Andrew Schimmer, John Ludke, Ray Renard second in 20th place.
Corey Smith, Dan Harrington, Mike Schultz, Spencer Preet, TJ Buck, your top 25, and then Travis Brown, Paul Simpson, Kane, Gary Champion, Daniel Solo, PJ O'Leary, Marshall Newton, and Tommy Hall round out your 32-car field here from the fastest racetrack here that we go to in this series, and the biggest, Talladega.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, time for an interview with your winner. Protect your ears, because I guess we're going to hear a bit of a whoop again. Told you. Told you. He was going to scream. I knew it. Mark Jorgensen Jr., the Grey Ghost 88 in victory lane again. I think we know how you feel. Do you want to describe it for the viewers?
I just feel a little bit excited. Won the race. Pretty cool.
How many races is this you've won now?
Not enough. I mean, trying to catch up to Rodney. I mean, he's freaking so damn good. So, it's going to be a little bit of a chore. But I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to catch him. He's got like 10 wins over me, I think. But I think we'll get there eventually. But
I just find it nice how you are still whooping like a first-time winner every time you step into victory lane, and it's been quite a few times.
Oh yeah, it's just exciting to win and to race with a bunch of the guys that I got the utmost respect for. It's just fun. I mean, this race was kind of unique. Cautions weren't set up. We didn't have a pace cars, but we ended up managing, and I thought we did absolutely amazing. I don't think we had a single wreck at all. I mean, that was
would have brought a caution out apart from right at the end.
I mean, that was awesome. I mean, that's just a testament to the guys. I mean, and my buddy Brandon Chaburko back in the damn series. I mean, I can't fucking believe it. That's awesome.
We're going to have to go through with the censor after this one.
We are going to have no, a fantastic result there for you, of course, and what a great way to put this in position. Anything you want to say, last remarks, and who makes it happen for the 88?
I mean, do I got a time limit or what?
Keep it to about
well, I mean,
Piscini
also is going to be mad if you take all his time, so.
No, you just got to give him the fair opportunity also. But no, as usual, Rod for putting this on. I mean, amazing job. I mean, quiet night. I mean, that's awesome. Just to get out there and race, and guys don't harp on one another. All that kind of good stuff. LSRTV for the broadcast. I love y'all. I mean, Rachel, Cisco, God almighty, y'all are awesome. I'm sure Evan's probably somewhere dealing with monster trucks. He might be tuning in. Huge shout out to him also. Oh, the 88 team. Who the heck did I have? Let's see. The Nationwide Grey Ghost car. Look pretty good, I guess. Man, just all the guys in TeamSpeak that work with me. Chris, Rodney, Jason, Brandon. Victor, Andrew, Corey, Rod. Hell, I mean, it's a damn laundry list of guys in that team speaking. I mean, those guys right there, I mean, they're phenomenal to race with, and there's a few others out there I like to race with also. But Another shout out to my cousin Michael Grabham, his son Paxton, Michael's wife Megan, for letting him watch me play video games. But they're watching. He's been blowing up my phone. Michael, I love you, man. This is awesome. All the fans, all the people that watch the broadcast, tune into LSRTV every Friday night. Man, love y'all. Appreciate the support. Man, this is awesome. Man, it's freaking awesome.
Well, there you go. Fantastic sentiments from Mark Johnson Jr. He used all 2 minutes we joked about him having. So thanks for joining us, Mark, and congratulations on the win.
All right. Thanks, Rachel.
Cisco standing by with Chris Piscini, who came in today in second.
Yeah, caught up with Piscini here down on pit road. And first off, it's a brand new paint scheme for you. The Insole... You're going to have to help me with this. Skylights paint, but different colors for you. It's not a Steve Park car. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I'm scared almost.
Yeah, I decided with the way my luck has been going this season to change it around. It's a short track modified driver that used to be a part of the pit crew on Wayne Anderson from Long Island. So kind of just did his paint scheme there. I did it for the All-Star race last week, and it looks like at least in the Cup car it's kind of changing my luck, but too bad the regular season's winding down. I kind of needed this one as a win.
Well, still a decent finish for you out there, and we talked to Mark, and his biggest takeaway from all of this was obviously the whole no cautions thing kind of scared everybody a little bit because we didn't really have much of an incident tonight.
May I just step in before you actually answer that one, Chris? But how long did it take you guys till you realised there was no cautions?
I think it was when the stage came out, I believe, that we all kind of went, oh shit, the cautions still aren't on. So
bleeping again?
We kind of had to organize it, but everybody did pretty good for the little curveball we were thrown. So it's something to look into for the future. Kind of cuts down on the caution laps too, which is kind of nice at Talladega.
Yeah, and definitely, you guys. I mean, if there had been a big wreck, I was making the argument that it was kind of a case where even if you had a fast repair, you're still basically out of the race. So I think it kind of scared everybody from wrecking each other and stuff like that. But it was a good run for you here, and certainly need the points. Like you said, you do need the win, though. But decent finish for you here at Talladega. Sponsors, shout-outs, everybody you want to say hello to out there, Chris?
Yeah, just a shout-out to my dad. He always watches every week. You guys for putting this on. Rod, as always. Everybody in TeamSpeak. Mark, rambles them off, so he got them all. So, yeah, hopefully we can go into next week and have a little more better luck and get one more spot.
Let's Chris Piscini get second here at Talladega. And I'm going to pass the mic back to Rachel here because there is a Rod flag. And, well, it was close. It was actually a fourth-place finish, but because Rodney isn't here, we'll get a chance to talk to him, and Rachel's caught up with Rod flag.
I am indeed. No Rodney Wofford, so we get a Rod flag instead. The 23 car today came home today in fourth, Rod. Great race for you today, and a quiet one with no pace car.
Yeah, I was about to think it probably going to come up. Did
you forget after the All-Star?
Yeah, I did forget to turn the cautions on, but maybe a blessing in disguise because it worked out really, really well, and we got done really, really early, and the guys did it really, really well, cautioning by themselves. Knock on wood.
They certainly did, but at the same time today, great race for a 23 car.
Yeah, it was a great race. I think we did a great job racing up front there, keeping our nose clean. Had a little bit of trouble there coming down pit road there on that last pit stop there, where we just had an unfortunate contact with the 42 car. But fourth place is really, really good tonight, and we were sitting I think seventh in the standings or somewhere around there before the coming in. So just a great night for the 23 team. We just need to keep ourselves in a position for the chase spot here with 3 races to go, and I think we did that.
You certainly did. Well, congratulations today. Anybody you'd like to thank on the 23 car?
I just want to thank Toyota Certified Used Vehicles, thank the drivers of Superspeedway Cup, and thanks LSRTV for everything they do, and thank you, Rachel, for your great streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I think we're good to go.
Thanks for joining us, Rod, and, well, congratulations on fourth today.
All right, thank you.
Well, Cisco, we're going to wrap things up for the night, of course. This has been a presentation here on LSRTV with the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup Series. I've been Rachel Wyford. I've been joined by Cisco Scaramouza. Do apologise today, folks, for a few minor technical issues we had during this one, but you know what?
I wouldn't say they were
regardless.
minor.
Okay, they were massive,
me
whopping
going to
technical
make
problems.
an Office Space-esque video of me crowbarring my router to death.
You have to make that now and post it on the LSRTV
Oh, I
channel.
already posted it. I already said I'm going to. No, that is absolutely
folks, stay
happening.
tuned. Stay tuned. Cisco will beat a router to death. A person called Cisco will beat possibly a Cisco router to death.
You know what's funny?
Live on the LSRTV channel. We'll stream
an
this.
Ares
It will
router.
be huge.
Go figure.
You should have had a Cisco router for Cisco.
Exactly. If I had my own router, apparently, no, I guess it's not my company, but if I had a Cisco router, probably would have been fine.
Sponsorship plug? Send us one, Cisco, if you want us to replace Cisco's router with a Cisco. I think you should have one. It brandingly makes sense, and that's not even a word. So on that bombshell, good night, folks.